Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trip Around the Multiverse with your host, the man who manifests evil in every town he goes to, Carl Charles,
And the boy who bullies men, CY Chong.
and we are going to review and discuss the latest in this iteration of Halloween, Halloween
Yeah,
Ends, which is a sequel to Halloween and Halloween Kills.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, yeah. I didn't. Okay, so do you know what I had to do? I had to rewatch Halloween 2018, right, to
Yeah.
see why. I was like, I don't like Halloween Kills, and I didn't particularly like this either, right? But I was
Yeah, yeah.
like, but I'm sure the reboot franchise started off on a good note, right?
Yeah,
So watch
yeah.
Halloween again, and I'm like, yeah, it did start good, and somehow it just kind of tailed down. The best I can say is this, right? Without spoilers at the moment. But if they introduce some of the parts in this film in the previous film,
Yeah.
then things would click a bit more. But
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, we've got two films worth of plot points, right? Or whatever we're gonna do, and we're just gonna put it in one. And then things that you're expecting to happen just never end up happening.
Yeah.
And some people, the main dude, right? We're watching it for
Yeah.
gets way less screen time than you think.
Yeah. Which I'm okay with,
Yeah,
but like you were saying, they kind of set up stuff in the last one and the one
yeah,
before it, which doesn't
yeah.
really play out in this at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
And
kind of
like you're saying, right? I don't mind that he gets less screen time if his presence is in the film all the time. You know, like when you get the proper horror villains, right? Where they don't have to be on screen, right?
yeah, yeah.
But you feel them
You feel their
haunting the
presence.
characters,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
to
yeah.
speak, even though they're not there.
Hmm.
This didn't feel like that. Just it felt like we're waiting for our boy to make an appearance. You know?
Yeah, like I get the theme they were sort of going with,
Yeah,
but
yeah. That's the thing, isn't it?
yeah,
It's like, all right, we have an idea, but we just didn't execute it
yeah,
particularly well,
yeah,
because we were rushed for time.
yeah,
I'd
maybe,
say. I mean,
yeah.
it's not. I don't want to say it's a short movie. I don't think it's particularly that short, right? It's about two
No,
hours.
it's about 2 hours. Yeah, about that. Yeah.
But I think they had things set, like you said, like we were saying before, they kind of set things up that wrap around really fast
Yeah.
because they don't have enough time within this movie to do it.
Hmm.
Um, if they split this movie in two or something like that, or like took parts of Halloween Kills and put it in here, like it'd have been paced much. Well, no, the execution would have been much better for the
Yeah.
story they
Yeah.
were trying to tell. Because I wasn't like, what are you trying to? I kind of see what you're going for, but I also don't see what
Hmm.
your angle is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was. Yeah.
I like the last what 20 minutes, half an hour of this film.
Yeah, I agree. I like the end, like the last,
Yeah,
like we say, the last act of the film. I enjoyed
yeah,
that,
yeah.
but
Because that's when it really came alive.
yeah,
Yeah. What you're expecting to happen like starts happening there, and you're like, wow, I've been waiting quite and it's not as if, by the way, the rest of the movie doesn't set anything up on it. It just is like, this is this what we're not focusing on the guy we're supposed to be focusing on, you know?
yeah, which I get
Yeah,
because, like, to be fair, what does Michael really bring to the table besides being a murderer? That's really it.
yeah.
But
It's one of those things where, if, say, for example, this was a TV series, right, a 10 episode TV series, and you had a 2 or 3 episode story arc within that,
yeah,
this is kind of what it is.
yeah, I'll say that. Yeah,
And then you go back to the main story.
yeah, I'll say
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it was
Um,
weird.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I wouldn't. It's like Halloween 2018, right? I say, yeah, go watch this. It's like it's a horror movie where, your horror villain is coming after you,
Yeah,
and it could, like, it's just trying to murder people, right? Not necessarily murder people. It's not a slash film, but it's just more like, yeah, he's coming after this one person, and he's just gonna kill everyone on his way there, you know.
yeah.
And then Halloween Kills, you're like, well, okay, are we saying that his presence infects the town with their own?
Which I like that premise of it. That's why
Yeah,
I liked Halloween Kills. I really like that
Yeah.
because it
Yeah.
explains why he could do the things he does,
Yeah.
and then it kind of craps on that in the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But the thing is with Halloween Kills as well, is like it's not bad. It's just what they were going for kind of was a bit. It's like, okay, I get what you're going for. I get it.
yeah,
Here and there, I'll say it's passable in what it was trying to do and what it actually ended up doing, right? But yeah, here it's like, yeah, if you sliced the last third of this film and plugged it at the end of Halloween Kills,
yeah,
you'd probably have a film that makes more sense.
yeah. Another thing, about I'll say what would have made Halloween Kills a bit better
Yeah.
is if they kind of trickled some of that mythology or hints to it in the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it kind of feels weird. Like, it's a good premise, but it kind of feels weird because there's no like lead up to it.
Yeah, I mean, I like what they did with the first one, where it's just like, okay, so I was a horror movie victim, and then I'm going to prepare for the guy coming back, right? So I'm going to turn the tables on him.
Yeah.
Which is great, yeah, because you're like, okay, this is unique.
Yeah.
But yeah, then Halloween Kills, you're like, all right, okay, I see what you're saying is it's not the man, right? It's his mere presence that causes all sorts of madness.
Yeah.
Sort of, because the towns are like, oh, it's a killer. If we kill him first,
yeah, he can't kill anyone. Yeah,
except that you now are the killers.
Yeah. You become what you hated. And I thought that's a clever bit to do.
Yeah. Except when they killed that one dude in the Halloween Kills, right? The one asylum guy, the guy who ran from the metal asylum.
That looked like messed up.
He looked like the Danny DeVito penguin, right?
Yeah.
He looked nothing like Michael Myers.
He was like 4 foot shorter than Michael Myers is. Yeah.
And they chased him down. He had to go and kill it. He jump off a building to save to get rid of, so the mob didn't stomp him to death. And you're like, wow, you people, right, is infected with the hatred of whatever Michael Myers, yeah?
Yeah.
That you're causing all the people that are the freaks. You just become as bad as Michael Myers yourself, and then other people becoming your victims,
Yeah. And then they did nothing with that.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, so the end of the previous film, he's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna murder Laurie Strode's daughter, not granddaughter, daughter. Then stare at my window for like,
and then nothing comes from it.
Yeah. Then this movie takes up.
Because the next film's like set 4 years later. You're like, wait.
Yeah.
What?
So he's standing outside the window for 4 years. What is going on?
Or did he? Are they like pretending that bit didn't happen? He killed her and left because how else?
I probably would have preferred it if it all. So Halloween and Halloween Kills take place
in the same.
Yeah, and I would have preferred this tagged on the end of it as well. Then if you're going to do
that's
that,
what
you
I
might
thought
as well.
It was going to be, but no.
But yeah, it's like it's wonky. That's the best way I can put it. What you expect is probably the last third of the film.
Yeah,
that's about as much as I can say.
Yeah, basically.
All right. So into spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers.
Yeah. So. Okay. So Michael Myers came back in 2018. Yeah.
Yep.
They must have dealt with Halloween and Halloween Kills by that point because it starts in 2000. This film starts in 2019.
Wait. Huh?
This film starts in 2019. It's the babysitter dude. Remember?
Oh yeah. I thought you meant. Yeah. No, I get what you mean now. Yeah, I confused myself. Yeah.
So it starts in 2019, and this guy, he's like what, 19,
he's
early
20s, 21.
Yeah. And he's looking after some, I want to say obnoxious kid, right? But,
spoiled brat, yeah.
Yeah, they're watching The Thing, by the way.
Yeah, I was like, haha, I know that film. The Thing, yeah.
And yeah, he's like, the son of the rich family, kind of.
Yeah.
So he's probably never been disciplined in his entire life, and he's all that money and all that stuff, right? Because it doesn't come off particularly well mannered. Kind of,
Yeah.
I mean, he might have been it just for this occasion. He was just, I'll prank my babysitter dude, right?
Yeah. What's gonna happen?
First of all, their spiral staircase is amazing, right?
Yeah.
Who has a staircase like that? Whose house is so narrow that you can only go up them stairs like that?
Rich folk. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So they set that up prior. So they're on the ground floor, and he's looking up, and you see like spiral staircase, probably what, 5 floors?
I'll say that 5 or 4 floors.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a big.
Well, we
big
got the
house.
attic as well, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
that's where. So the Corey, the main the babysitter dude, he's like, I think that he checks the front door for something, and then the kid disappears, and he's looking around for the kid, and then he's like, oh, is Michael Myers in the house, turning to kill people or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, then he goes all the way to the attic because he searched the other rooms. And then the kid locks the door from the other side. And he's like, ah, ha, ha, you're a punk, you're a fool. I gotcha. Oh, the boogeyman's going to come and get you because Michael Myers is in the attic. Oh, you know, right? Because Michael Myers has been running loose. And he does, and he comes out at Halloween. I mean, okay, maybe.
Yeah, sure. All right, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude's like, Corey's like, open the door, kid, open the door. And the kid's like, nah, you're a fraidy cat, you're scared of dark. For some reason, lined up right outside the door. So when Corey starts kicking on the door to open it, boots the door swings open and knocks this kid over the banisters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just as his parents walk in as well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Now here's the thing, right? So unless Corey, so he's kicking out the lock. So you'd kick the lock and the door would swing open, and he'd probably smack the kid to the side, right?
Depends.
Oh yeah, it depends where he is.
Yeah.
If he's holding the handle, it could. Yeah, all right, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, kid goes flying down the thingamajig, the massive gap in the stairs. I mean, yeah.
It's not that nice.
Yeah.
It kind of like for me, any film that starts with child death kind of leaves me on a sour note. I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this.
So yeah, the mom and dad come back and what have you done? What have you done? Ah! All right.
Yeah.
And then they take him away. To jail?
Yeah, he goes to prison for 4 years? No. Don't really say. I think about 2 or 3 years, something like that.
Yeah, because it's 2022 by now.
Yeah.
So okay, accidentally kill a kid.
Yeah, it happens.
You know, but what I'm saying is 3 years later, do you think first of all, it's not as if he's done it on purpose, but he didn't know where the kid was. He was just trying to open the door and stuff. Like, the kid wasn't opening the door, so
yeah, the kid's been a little crap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying okay, he's allowed to kill the kid because I'm just 3 years.
No.
Ooh, you know.
Well, it depends what they charged him for, innit?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, I can probably buy it because of how accidental it was. But you get the mother saying you did it on purpose, blah blah blah. So they probably just look at the evidence and go,
doesn't seem that way.
Yeah, exactly. Because why do he look himself in? Tell the kid to line up at the door so he could kick the door. Yeah. And send the kid flying down the stairs.
The only other thing I could like because we're speaking about it now is like these are rich people, Wouldn't you think they will have because they're paranoid? I'm guessing. Wouldn't they have surveillance cameras in their house?
Oh yeah, that's probably what it was. Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. Because first of all, you don't trust nobody if you're rich.
Yeah, exactly.
You got a big house like that with everyone around. I mean, you can't. Sometimes you probably can't keep track of everybody and stuff like that. So, especially if you got a kid. But yeah. So, jump to 3 years later. Laurie Strode is writing a book about Michael Myers.
Yeah.
She lives in Haddonfield now with the granddaughter who she's looking after. Her granddaughter's Allyson's a nurse now.
Yeah.
And Laurie's writing about how her daughter got slaughtered by Michael, and then the town. It's the saying about how she's inciting Michael by her mere presence. Like, wow, you people. It's just like saying Batman is responsible for all his villains, right?
Well, some of them. But yeah, it's kind of a weird...
That's the play that's going on here, right?
Yeah.
No, you need to... Michael Myers will go and kill people, whether there's a person around or not. Whether Laura is on. So it's like, you can't apply logic to that, the people who do stuff, regardless of whether your presence there encourages them or not. They're going to do it anyways. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And I was like...
and
even this bit, I was like, okay, they are kind of going with that the people in the town will just be becoming douches and stuff. But then I don't think it is the people in the town doing these murders and stuff that's going on.
No, that's the thing though. You would think that if you're going to spread paranoia or fear, they could have went kind of that route where Michael Myers is there
Yeah.
And the rest of it's happening around him.
Yeah,
like,
he's not doing it. The people in the town doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And because of him, not necessarily because of him, they're saying he's the problem, right?
Yeah.
But then they're causing more problems.
Mm.
Anyways, dude, Corey's now working at his at like a salvage yard now. Has a little moment with his uncle where he's like, "Oh yeah, okay." So he comes in on his bicycle late, and the uncle's like, "Corey, come here. Look,
Oh,
I'll give you a motorcycle." I thought it was his dad.
I thought it was his stepdad.
Okay. I'm someone related to him. Yeah.
Yeah, someone related to him.
I actually thought it was his dad.
Yeah.
But it might just be his uncle's scrapyard and his dad's working there. I don't know. But you think it's the stepdad?
Yeah, because I think they say something about that later on.
Okay.
But
well, dude's working on one of his. We'll just say stepdad for now for cleanliness of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, here's a motorcycle. Here's a scooter bike for you, so you don't come late. But it needs a little bit of fixing up, right? But once you get that, that's all cool. And he's like, great. Dude goes home to buy some chocolate milk. Like he's finished his shift, he's going to buy chocolate milk, and then you get these. Like typical high school kids, typical rich high school kids,
worst as well.
Yeah, the ones that have no filter, and just because I got money, my dad lets me to do everything I want, and I've been praised all my life and stuff like it's so entitled, right?
Yeah.
They got to him and go, "Yo, could you buy some beers? Because we're celebrating the whatever the story they're making."
Yeah, they're in
right?
band camp. I was like, "Oh, girls, you guys are so hard. You're in band camp."
Yeah, exactly. Corey's like, no, because logically I can get why he'd say no because he's just come out of jail.
He's probably still on like parole or whatever, so he can't really like whatever it is, and he's got to be good because if he gets caught doing that, that's him going back to prison.
And I think it's interaction with I don't want to say kids or anything like that, but you had trouble with some other kids before. Last thing you do is interact with another bunch of kids.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But and then they're like, "Oh, you're the psycho killer. You killed the kids. Yeah." And then they start shoving him and stuff like that.
Yeah, and there's one girl was being nice, like, "No, just leave him alone."
The ginger girl, right?
Yeah.
And then the other girl is mouthing off. I'm like, what? What? You know?
Oh,
so they shove him, and he's like, he just somehow, man, he's so strong. He cracks the glass of the chocolate milk that he's holding.
Yeah.
And then they shove him down and he cuts his hand on it.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh." And then that's when Laurie comes and is like, "Hey, leave him alone." And they go, "Oh, you're the freak show woman and all that stuff." And then they leave and Laurie kind of like, who's the freak and who's the weirdo and who's the freak show? She kind of like makes friends with him, kind of.
Yeah. And
then she takes him to the hospital.
Well, no. Just before that, she pulled that penknife.
Yeah. Goes, "You want to do it or shall I?" And slice the kid's tires because he totally deserved it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. And then Laurie takes Corey to the hospital. Is it a hospital or was it just the doctor's surgery?
Where Allyson went, I assumed it was a hospital.
Yeah.
Because she's a nurse, right? To be fair though, we don't see the outside of it, so we don't know how big it is.
Because whatever. It's a something. Yeah. So she takes him there to get his wound healed up.
That's reason number one. Reason number two is she's trying to matchmake her granddaughter with this guy.
Yeah, which goes back to that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so they meet. She starts open up his wound, clean up his wound, and the doctor, who's a creepy weirdo, is kind of flirting with her at the same time. Yeah,
he said something like, "Oh, she looks cute, doesn't she?"
Yeah, that's inappropriate. Yeah.
Yeah, but in my mind, firstly, I was like, he was doing it to distract Corey for when he.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
But then what happens is Corey reacts because I think the doctor puts it in like the stitching or whatever, right? The first piercing, and I don't think he's probably.
I think he's doing. He goes, "Oh, I'm gonna ping you something to numb the pain, but it's gonna hurt." The thing numb the pain, and that's why he reacted to.
Yeah, so
And
he
then he's
wasn't distracted
flips.
enough. He probably thought it was one of those where you know when you get the needle and you're like, all right, look that way, boom, with the needle.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And then he accidentally knocks over like all the sutras and that stuff, and then he starts flipping out. The doctor starts flipping out and blaming Laurie's Allyson about it, and they're
yeah,
like, "Wait, what? That's weird."
yeah,
Yeah. And then she starts talking to Corey, and Corey's
yeah.
like,
Doctor leaves. Yeah, yeah.
"Yep, Doctor douche." And then
Mm-hmm.
Laurie, then like Corey's like, "Oh, you shouldn't let him talk to you like that." She's like, "That's fine, you know. I'm getting a
Men be
promotion."
men.
Yeah.
She doesn't actually say it like that, but
Nah,
you know,
but
like she's probably dealt with it enough times before. She's like,
yeah.
from this particular guy, you know, she's like,
Yeah. Or she's also thinking like, I'm getting promoted soon, so I have to like, I've got to be
yeah.
sweet with him until then.
Oh, it's true as well. There've been reasons.
Yeah. So like, okay, cool. And then they start talking, and it's instant like flirtation energy around them.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
This could work out well.
yeah. What I'm saying is, by the way, that Laurie Strode, she must know her granddaughter and random people particularly well to go. Yep, there's chemistry right there. You know.
So we thought, okay, my granddaughter's a survivor of a massacre, and he went to prison for accidentally killing someone. They got things in common. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I was like, that's a big leap, but sure, okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You know. Mm.
So then, as Corey's leaving, Allyson gets his number and says, "Oh, we should hang out sometime." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, I work at the mechanics, blah blah blah." And she goes, "Oh, my car's rattling." And he goes, "Okay, I'll have a look at it." He takes a look, and then he's like, "Yeah, you need this fixed. If you come to the place I work, I'll sort it out for you. It takes about 5 minutes, but I ain't got the stuff with me." She's like, "Hey, cool." And yes.
Then she appears there the next day, right?
Yeah.
With her car.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, he's got his motorcycle working," and she's like, "Oh, you can teach me to ride it and stuff like that. You got it, you know." And they start doing that thing where you get on a motorcycle to say like she's on a motorcycle, he's behind her, stuff like that. But then our jabroni kid, entitled kid from the shop, the beer dude, right?
Yeah.
He's like he's there, but because his car got slashed tires there, and his dad's like slapping him over the head. You punk, you jabroni, you know. I mean, you don't hear it, but you see it going on, the thing like that. And then he turns around, he sees Corey, and Corey's like, okay, I got to deal with this. We can, do something else another time, Allyson. She's like, yeah, come to Halloween party.
Yeah, and he's like, oh,
yeah.
So,
he goes to Halloween party with her, and I don't know if he's on something or not on something or some sort of like. I think he's okay. He just had that pent up nervousness or whatever it is, right? That he thinks the town's hating on him and all that stuff, and he's just like, you know what? I'm just going here, have a good time, act like I'm drugged out because that's the point he looks like he is, right?
Yeah.
But probably not on drugs, probably not on too much alcohol. You would just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna unleash myself, the party animal.
Because I took that as, he's finally feeling free. I didn't think like he's on anything. I was like, he feels.
Oh yeah, no, but I'm just saying the way he was acting.
I was like, did he secretly take something? Or
yeah.
He just,
no, but he really is enjoying himself.
Yeah.
With the at first he started up as like a little bit of tepid, and then he just kind of got really into it.
Yeah.
Oh, unless he's it's Dancing with Allyson that made him go like a maniac. Anyways, he's like, so he taking his wool sweater off.
Yeah.
And his scarecrow mask.
Yeah. And then and that's when he's about to go back to Laurie, and
Allyson.
Allyson, why do you call her Laurie's? Yeah. And then he bumps into the mum of the kid who he accidentally murdered.
Yeah.
And then she starts going off on him, saying, "How dare you have fun? Why my son died, and I wake up every morning missing him, blah blah blah."
Drowning my things like a typical I don't want to say drunk depressor.
Yeah.
Cutting promos on you because as you do.
Yeah.
Like she's proper bitter.
Yeah.
I mean, there's levels of bitter, but she's proper bitter.
Yeah. Big
Not that
time.
she had no reason to be, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like, I hold it against you for the rest of your life. You'll never hear the end of it as long as I live. You know, that sort of thing. You're like, whoa. You know?
Like, oh, that's a bit. Ooh.
Yeah, yeah. Basically just makes him feel totally ashamed, right? Where he just like, Allyson tries to, you know, he leaves, Allyson chases him out and says, yo, what's up? Like, and he's like, essentially says, woman, F off.
Basically, yeah. And then he goes, why do you think you could fix me? You couldn't fix me.
Yeah. And he said the exact stuff that you said about why Laurie's put them together. That's what he said. Yo, you think you're a survivor and I'm a killer and we want blah 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 blah.
Yeah. You're like, oh god, okay. And then
what makes you think this is good logic, you know?
Yeah. And then he just walks off. Runs off, sorry. And Laurie's like, okay, didn't let me a chance to speak, but okay, sure. All right. Bye. So then he's walking back to wherever he's meant to be going.
I think he's probably walking back to his house.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get the same jabroni school kids finally trying to like be bad mans again.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, just leave me alone. And they're like, no. You think you can slash my car, make me look bad in front of my dad and stuff like that. And then the other guy with the drumsticks, the guy with the drumsticks, right?
Yeah.
He's the epitome of a like the big little man, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Where it's like you got the big entitled guy doing this stuff, and he's over there going back trying to be the hype man. Yeah. We'll just push this up even more, right? Yeah. But then it'd be like, oh, I didn't do it. He did it.
Yeah, with his worst haircut in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez. But he's holding his drumsticks like they're batons.
Yeah, you're
right? Like they're screamer sticks, you know.
You're not Nightwing. You're in.
Yeah, exactly.
You're in band. You know, you're not like a hard guy or anything like that. Wow.
Yeah. So he pulls. Corey pulls out a knife, and they basically just swipe it off him because they're like, you know, what are you gonna do? Kill me? Go to jail again? And he's like, you kind of got me.
He's like, you know what? I don't want to go to jail.
Yeah. And then they shove him off the bridge. Like they shove him, and then they shove him off the bridge.
Yeah.
And then the one dude's like, no, he fell off the bridge. I didn't touch him. You know, even though he blatantly did touch. He's trying to retcon history that happened like 2 seconds ago.
And then like they're like, nah, dude. Well, the two girls are like, no, you killed him or whatever. We need to check him. Like, no, it's my story. If they ask, he fell. And for me, this is where the girls could have been like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't hang around these guys anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And it would have saved them later on. But
yeah. Or if they ran down to, you know, because I can imagine the douchebag and his friend be like, we're just gonna get out of here anyways. You do what you want, right?
Yeah.
And my story is my story. You know.
Yeah.
But nah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though the one ginger girl is like. She's like peer pressured, and she's like, "Oh no, come on, leave him alone" and stuff like that. And they just we get away. Obviously, she don't want to be implicated in a crime scene, so I guess that's why she's going. But she's not like instigating anything like the other girl.
No. Which again should have saved her later in the film.
Yeah,
a bit annoying.
Yeah. So then Corey's getting dragged by his leg, like he's unconscious, right? Gets dragged by his leg into a sewer.
Yeah.
A big spacious sewer where the Dolph Lundgren Punisher seems to live.
Yeah.
Those sort of sewers. And he wakes up, right? And he's looking around the sewer kind of area, see what's up.
Yeah.
And he looks through this gap, and then Michael Myers grabs him through the gap, sort of thing, with his like in the chokeslam grip in the goozle.
Yeah.
And he does a reverse penance there. Or something like that, right?
Or I cast my evil on you stare sort of thing. Yeah, it's a weird.
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know what that was exactly they were alluding to. All I know is that it played the flashbacks of when he killed the kid and accidentally went away from murder, and then how the kids were bullying him and stuff like that, right? Yeah. And like you say, it's like, is he part on, or is he seeing how the evil is within other people, or what is, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't really.
I mean, because they didn't need to. It didn't make. Does Michael Myers have supernatural powers? Exactly what's going on here.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they went the route we were saying, like I'll probably explain later, then all this would have made sense. But it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So dude's been living in the sewer for however long since he'd been staring out that window up in where he used to live.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. Anyways, he lets Corey go, and Corey just kind of scrambles out of the sewers, and he's confronted by this homeless dude, right? Homeless, like, no, you see, no one ever makes it out that sewer hole alive. That Michael Myers, go back in there. He pulls the knife and goes, go back in there, get me that mask. I want to be Michael Myers or some nuttiness like that, right?
Yeah.
And then Corey accidentally, they have a struggle, and Corey stabs him.
Yeah.
And then he continues stabbing him, and then he runs off. Which is, I'm like, I mean, first one was accident, and second one is more self-defense, right?
Yeah.
This one. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. You had to send multiple times, right? Because first of all, you're really scared. You just dealt with Michael Myers in there.
Yeah.
Even though Michael Myers didn't kill you, right?
Yeah.
Your adrenaline's pumping, right? And then you go straight into a knife situation when you fell off a bridge as well. You probably got a concussion.
Yeah.
So you've been harassed by several people right now. You know, the dude's trying to come at you with a knife, and you stabbed him once, stabbed him twice to put him down. Like, it's self-defense at that point. Kind of, right? So I got sympathy for the guy, right?
Yeah, to some extent. Yeah.
Yeah, but then it's like, but then he throws the knife and runs away. I was like, okay, if he calls the cops, right? If he calls like ambulance or something, let's see where it goes.
Yeah.
No, he just lets the dude die.
Just runs off. You're like, oh, okay, that's.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be an anonymous call, but it's probably too late now, right?
Yeah, but you could have claimed, like you said, self-defense, but whatever.
Yeah.
And then he runs off, and doesn't he go to fight Allyson?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I made this up in my head, but didn't he tell her that he killed someone?
Later on.
Okay. Oh, for some reason, I thought that he told her then. Yeah, and then they start getting all like chummy again and exploring their relationship.
Yeah.
And
I think this is like so. Oh yeah. So he stalks outside Laurie's house for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Laurie's like, right, what are you doing? Right, you're being creepy. And he's like, oh, I'm waiting for Allyson. I caused problems for her by throwing a fit, and I really am here to apologize.
Yeah.
And Allyson appears and like, please take a walk with me. I'll explain everything. And that's what you say, like, takes her to the house of the couple from the beginning who no longer lived there, because he kicks down like the wooden panel or something. Like, he goes, yeah, I killed someone. Here's the blood splatter, but they still haven't cleaned off for the last 4 years.
That's a bit.
Yeah. But she's like, all right, fair enough. It's an accident, blah blah, right?
Yeah.
And they go to a dinner date, kind of. Well, they go, no, it's not really a dinner date, but it's like a cafe. Like, basically, he's just sharing all this. He's just trying to explain himself and all that stuff, and why he's the way he is and stuff like that, and how she's kind of, just
him.
being there, help. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then her ex, Allison's ex, who's the police officer, shows up, and he's like in her personal space, even though clearly she's with someone. This guy's got no boundaries.
So weird and awkward. Like, why would you do that, dude?
Yeah. Not only that, it's like, how did you ever get to become a police officer by doing that, or only are you stalking her specifically? But then again, you watch Steven Seagal films, for example, right? And you wonder how this guy his character ever got to be a policeman, because all he does is go and like murder everyone in essentially But anyways, so he's like she's like, no, when look, he goes, the police officer's like, oh yeah, celebrate my friend's birthday, come have some cake or something like that. And she's like, nah, I'm with someone. And he's like, oh, come, you know what? Yeah, oh yeah, I know you. You're the kid killer. And then he turns back to Allyson, right? And he goes, you want to be with this guy who's like, and then Corey's like, dude, just leave us alone, because he's fed up of it. But at this point, it's like, dude, you like police officer, man. You're a police officer. You have no boundaries whatsoever. You know, you're just swinging your power stick around. You know.
Yeah, basically, you're like, come on, man, just leave it.
Yeah.
And then doesn't
he. Sorry, gone.
No, I'll say, and then doesn't like Corey kind of like make a scene, and you can see Allyson looks kind of like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no one's saying necessarily to make the scene, but it's more like, look, he's telling the guy to back off, but really firmly, really strict, like you know, something's going to go down if you don't if you don't back off, right? Because he's like at the edge of being explosive himself.
Yeah.
Where you can see kind of where he's coming from, though, right?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
So all throughout this, I'm like, Corey, man, you could go one of two ways here. Let's just see how it's going, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he gets a bit sour. He backs off and he goes, all right, fine. Sits down with his police buddies who, for some reason, instead of saying, "Oh, dude, you know, you should really stop harassing that girl."
Yeah.
And she left you for a reason. You got, whatever, right? I mean, maybe you're better off. However you bros want to do it, right?
Yeah.
Instead, they go, "Oh, dude, you got shamed.
Yeah.
That kid killer, man. He made you back off and stuff like that."
Yeah.
Like,
should we do something about it? And the guy's like, "Nah, I'll handle it myself." Like,
like you people are policemen? What?
Yeah. Apparently so.
Yeah.
Weirdo.
So when Corey gets on his motorcycle and he drops Allyson off, and then he kind of drives off, and you see the policeman following them. Well, not in his police van, right? Because he's there in casual clothing, but he's in his truck or wherever he is. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
You're doing it to yourself at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, no, this point where you're stalking a guy and you're going to try and beat him up or something like that. That's when you're doing it to yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Corey is obviously smart. He's like, all right, he's following me to this particular point. I'll drive to the sewers, right?
Yeah.
And I'll I'll disappear. I'll do the horror movie thing where I just step out the shadows, like Batman style.
Yeah.
And he does that. The cop comes out. He tries to look for Corey with his torch. They have a little tussle. Like Corey spears him out of nowhere, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he kind of lures the cop into the sewer.
Yeah.
Where Michael Myers kills him.
Yeah.
But the thing is like Michael Myers is he's like, okay, he's the Clark Kent version of Michael Myers at this point, right?
Yeah.
Still weak and feeble and stuff like that. And basically just he's stabbing this guy, but really kind of collapsing, stabbing onto this guy while Corey holds him down in a coquina clutch.
Yeah.
What? And then as soon as Michael Myers starts, and it's like Corey's like, "Come on, Michael, do it, kill him, right?" I'm like, okay, all right. So you're Michael, you're getting led by a guy who's been bullied.
Like, I get because what I got from this scene was like he hasn't got any power really. Like he's basically down and out, Michael, because he hasn't killed. And like when he starts stabbing this dude up, he kind of like heals. So like,
that's what I mean. That's why I was saying he was like Clark Kent, Michael Myers there, because as soon as he finished killing the guy, he starts standing up like Superman. Like Clark Kent standing up like Christopher Reeves when he's going to be Superman. Yeah. He stands up all straight and he's like, he's clutching at his knife. He's actually he's not shaking and shivering. He's like, yeah.
I'm me again.
Curls for the girls sort of thing.
Yeah, but then like that's why I got like, oh, it's supernatural sort of stuff. But then I don't know. After that,
later on, it doesn't. Yeah.
I
thought, okay, fair enough. I don't want to say he always gets powers from killing people, like we're assuming, but it's just like, okay, there is something to it that he's been living in the sewer for 4 years, so exactly what he's been eating or stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So I can buy kind of that, but no one explains the logic of it, right? But if you're saying killing people and being evil empowers him, fair enough.
Yeah, but they should establish it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But they start at this point. You're like, all right, I think I see where they're going. Right? Yeah. Except they don't actually go that way either.
No. Oh, okay.
Right. So Michael kills him. Then Allyson finds out she's been passed over. for her promotion by the other nurse. Yeah, who's I want to say. I mean, I don't know if you would say they're definitively having an affair or not, the doctor and the nurse, right? Or whether she's flirting with him. Once she gets the promotion, she's like, "All right, now you did me a favor, I'll do you a favor," sort of thing, right?
I think it might be
I don't
both.
think they define it one way or the other.
Yeah, because I think Allyson was getting a promotion, and then he must have made a move on that girl, and she was like, sure," and then that's why she got it. Yeah, because I don't think their affair started until later on. Well, about to start.
Yeah. So he takes. I think the doctor takes the nurse home, or his love palace or wherever it is. Right? If it's a home, it's a very good looking hotel looking home.
Yeah, I think it's his house.
Yeah, rich people though. He's a doctor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah. So they get stabbed. Oh, hold on. First of all, Corey's in there. Like the girls, the doctor, the nurse is going to start having a shower, right? She's wearing a gown or something like the silk gowns and stuff.
Yeah.
Corey goes after the doctor in his scarecrow mask and his wool sweater, right?
Yeah.
All right. Coquina clutch again, all right?
Yep.
I believe.
Yep.
And then the nurse sees it. She screams. She pulls the sliding door so Corey can't get in there.
Yeah.
But when she turns around, proper horror movie villain, like out of nowhere, Michael Myers stabs her against the wall. Yeah, but I'm like, wow, he's got super strength now because he's just stabbing her with the kitchen knife off the floor into the wall.
Yeah,
her feet dangling.
Yeah,
like yeah, he's powered up now, right?
Yeah,
I assume.
Yeah,
I this is where I was like, okay, so this is where the rampage starts, and either Corey's gonna backtrack and team up with everyone else because he realized how far gone he is, or he's gonna assist Michael and try and take over. By the way, something we didn't mention, but when the credits played, and you had the pumpkin, the Halloween pumpkin,
yeah.
And inside the pumpkin was another pumpkin, and so it kind of the outer pumpkin split, and the new pumpkin came in, and then it split, and then another pumpkin. So I was like, okay, fair enough. The cycle of rebirth, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So if Michael Myers, whatever, I can see how you're gonna make, if you're going the direction of making Corey the next version of that, not character, but the mythos, right?
Yeah.
But. That's the way you look at tiny things you try to get ahead of the film.
Yeah.
And this kind of was going in that direction. Like, okay, because now he's definitively killing people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, that's where we're going. Cool.
Yeah. So we'll see how that ends up. But Corey gets with Allyson again, and they're like on top of the radio DJ. The radio DJ is just mouthing off about all sorts of people. Michael Myers, the Corey, the killer, and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they're at the top of the radio tower, like the block.
Yeah, the roof of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And and when they come down, and they're kind of Corey. He clambers. He doesn't use the fire escape or nothing. He just clambers down, takes a drop.
Yeah.
And the DJ's like, "What the hell? What are you doing, right? What are you doing?" And then he just cuts some promo on both of them. Like, you with your crazy grandma who incites Michael Myers and whatnot, and you who kills kids, kicking them off banisters and stuff like. He's throwing his skill away from me, yeah. And you're like, "Oh, this guy, man." You just kind of
dick.
Yeah. You just had to push them, yeah. Like if someone's killed someone before. Why are you gonna?
Mm-hmm. That's what people keep forgetting,
Yeah, it's like, all right,
Murderer is gonna murder, so
Yeah, but no, I mean, yes, exactly. At this point, they don't know that Corey's killed multiple people, right? But even then, it's just like, even when a person's killed other people accidentally. Right?
Yeah, you don't mess with that person. It's common sense.
Because you're like, yeah, exactly. Unless you feel them getting arrested again
Yeah.
I mean, unless they fear getting arrested again, and you're thinking, all right, I'll prod them because but you're like, even then, it's just like, well, it's not a good idea to do that.
No, because even they will snap at some point, and you're on that list. Yeah.
That's the problem, isn't it? Because how can you just keep on pushing people and expect them not to lash out at some point?
Yeah.
Even as a normal person,
exactly.
Whatever.
People be.
But that's where this is where I see with the story of Corey, where just people just pile on him, and you're like, just leave, dude. Just leave. This is what you're saying to Allyson. We should leave the city because I've had enough of this town. I wanna light the fire and burn this town to the ground, so to speak. Yeah. Let's just leave it behind us and go. Corey goes home and his mother slaps him across the face and stuff like that.
I've been worried about you. You've been messing with that girl. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that evil girl who whatever. Yeah. So he runs off and goes back to sleep at the house of the child he killed, which is very. I mean, fair enough. It's empty, right?
That's weird.
But yeah. It's kind of like edging to a sinister direction now,
Yeah. Like, why would you willingly do that? But all right, sure.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's weird.
But Laurie's now suspicious of Corey's behavior because he keeps on. He's getting a bit off kilter.
Yeah.
And so after Corey wakes up, right, from the thing, actually I think is Laurie's rocking in the chair against the door frame, and that's what's waking Corey up.
Yeah, the sound of that.
And she's like, look, right, you're not headed down in a good direction. I can see that, right? I should never try to get you with my granddaughter, yeah? But you got to leave her alone, because you're poison and you're not good.
Yeah,
essentially,
yeah.
She's done with him as well.
Yeah,
she's part of, at this point, it's just well, Alice is probably the only thing that's holding him on to his humanity.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, not necessarily his humanity, but keep on, yes, he's not too, he's at that point where you're like, okay, he's gone a bit too far, right?
Yeah.
Can he turn back? Question mark, right? But as soon as you start saying, I'm going to take Allyson away from you, right? Or you need to keep away from her, and I'm going to prevent you from being with her, that's when it's too far, it's gone far already. You know?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, yeah, but Michael Myers
have her, no one else can as well.
Yeah. And he's like, you're the one that brought Michael Myers to this place, anyways. The towns hates you, and they always now because of you creating Michael Myers, inciting Michael Myers, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And now that he's gone, they found a new boogeyman. That's because and that they all they hate at me, even though it was an accident and stuff like that. So you're the cause of it. So it's right. So okay. So if I was in a street fight, right, and I bought someone, and I went to jail for it, okay?
Yeah.
Then my logic is to blame the guy that I bottled for getting the fight with me in the first place.
Maybe.
No. Well, no, it depends. It depends on how. But okay, let's just say I started the fight with the guy, right? And then I bottled him.
Yeah,
okay?
that's a different story.
Yeah, and that's the logic here. Is well, no, because the situations are different, right?
Yeah.
But you can't say that led on to you to that. I can say, oh, your mum gave birth to you, right?
Yeah, so it's your fault that I beat you. Wait, what?
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the weirdos.
Anyways, so I think my logic, was this guy, he's now, it's
he's totally
victim blaming himself.
Yeah.
He's he's going places. Mentally, he's gone. Right.
At this, and then after this scene when he gets up and she's gone.
Yeah.
I thought this would have been smart as well that he made that didn't actually happen.
Yeah.
All happened in his head.
Yeah. I thought as well too because he turns around and she disappears. And I'm like, wow, she has horror movie villain powers now. But like you're saying, because she disappears so swiftly.
Yeah.
That he's having a mental breakdown. He's talking to himself and he's blaming him. I'm like, all right, if that's the route you're going, that's kind of neat because it's yeah.
But do they actually? confirm that Laurie actually went there?
I think so, because she says she had spoken with him or something like that.
Because I know she said I spoke with his mum. Because there's a bit where Laurie goes to speak to his mum, but I don't remember her ever.
Oh no, I think later on, Allyson says, "Oh no, okay." Later on, Allyson says, "You saw him, didn't you? You spoke with like you went to his house or whatever, right?"
Yeah.
But that might have been, not sure when if Laurie went to the house where he was staying or his actual house, which he did go to, you know.
Yeah, because
so it could have played twice in two different ways. Yeah, but I would prefer like you if it's like it's in his head now.
Yeah.
Because his paranoia is just going over the like he's killed people now, right? You know, and everyone's turning against him, quote unquote, right? So it's like, you know, the why wouldn't Laurie turn against me, the person who introduced me to her granddaughter and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah. So
okay. Yeah. So then it's Halloween Day, 31st.
Oh wait, we glanced over a bit as well.
Go on.
I think it was a bit later where Laurie's in the bar talking to the woman that she babysitted back in 1978. Yeah. And then she goes, I want you to meet someone. And then Laurie meets the dad of the kid that died because of Laurie. And he's like, you know, I don't blame him or anything. You know, mistakes happens. He's had a hard life and that is that. But I went to see him a couple of days ago and just to see if the kid's okay. And Corey's many things, but when I saw him this day, he didn't look like the kid I remember. He looked like evil. He didn't say evil, but something along them lines. Because even
like see the blank eye stare, you know, like he's not that kid who I knew is not there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow, that's kind of
that. At what point, by the way, he was wearing that wool sweater vest? So is that? Would you say that at that point where he was coming back from after killing that camp?
Yeah, it must have been. Yeah.
After Michael Myers reverse penance stared him, right?
Yeah. Indoctrinated stared him. Yeah.
yeah. However you want to put it, right? Darren Browned him.
Yeah. I was like, okay. I actually liked that scene. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then,
the thing is, like, there's a lot of directions they could have went, and but I think what mostly is like there's a lot of Corey in here, but it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes towards the finale, but it's in the overall mythology of the Michael Myers character and what he means. It doesn't mean a lot to that, you know. Yeah. It's like its own separate movie with these characters in it.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that happens. Corey goes to the sewers. He fights Michael Myers, right? The jabroni. I see the jabroni, but you know, he's got bullied by school kids. He come across not as in a way, he comes across as a loser because kids are mocking him, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, he's a bit of a psycho because he's murdering people and whatnot. But he never comes across as a super strong dude, right?
No.
And you assume Michael Myers is one.
Yeah.
He basically just.
I saw that as sort of he got bullied by his kids because he didn't want to fight them.
Oh, it's true. It's true. Yeah, it's true. But I kind of like okay. Well, in either case, right? And we're also going to argue that Michael Myers is not at full strength at this point because Corey comes in there, does a Jericho Rey Mysterio. He just rips off dude's mask and kicks him into the ground, and just be like, this is mine now. This is mine.
It was weird.
All right, okay. And then like Michael Myers goes down, and then he sits up a bit.
Yeah. In
the darkness, so you can't see his face, but it's just like. Yeah, if Corey came in there with like some sort of something, right? Whatever weapon he was going to use on his rampage, came there, ambush Michael Myers, or like come in there like, oh, Michael, whatever, and then stab him, whatever, right? And then take the mask. No, he beats him in a fist fight, and he's like one-sided one at that.
Yeah.
To be fair, we also like we're gonna headcanon that Michael Myers has been in the sewer for 4 years. What's he been eating?
Yeah. You know? Also, he hasn't killed in days, so his power's draining again.
Exactly. So if we were to go the supernatural route as well, which we are, we're just trying to justify Michael Myers can't beat this guy up. But whatever, right?
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they also do not clarify if it's supernatural or not. But you know, like you, I prefer not necessarily it didn't need to be supernatural, but it just has taints of not natural.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Something, not necessarily demonic, but something's like sinister.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he goes takes Michael Myers' mask, right?
Yeah.
Um, Laurie and Alison argue because they're like, um, you went to see like Alison's like, oh, you went to see Corey, whether we went to see Corey parents, yeah, or Corey
Yeah.
himself, like it's that ambiguous situation, yeah.
Yeah.
But basically, she like Allison also switches on Laurie and says, "You, Michael Myers, is all because of you," you
Yeah.
know.
All my friends and parents and all that are dead because of you, basically. So,
Yeah,
that's a bit
yeah,
of a mean thing to say.
yeah, exactly. Those spoiled kids from before,
Yeah.
they come to what they do? What? How they?
They've come out of somewhere, and
Yeah,
then someone's written on the car, "bitch," whatever it was. Oh, someone
yeah,
scraped to the car,
yeah,
"bitch," and they obviously
yeah.
know who it is.
Well, they assume, right?
Yeah.
Because last they saw, he was like splattered underneath a bridge somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
but
then,
yeah,
yeah. So then they drive to his.
the salvage yard. Yep.
Yeah, actually his stepdad. Wikipedia says yes, his stepdad's
Yeah.
salvage yard, where he's sort of, and they find his bike. And you know what? We're gonna wreck his bike because he
Yeah.
wrecked our car.
Yeah. By the way, it's one of those things where you're like, this is Batman 66 levels of deduction here because you're just assuming it's this person and just happen to be right.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure lots of people in this town don't like you lot. But all right, sure, we'll go with
Well, no,
that.
whether the case or not, it's like you don't know any random person wrote bitch, and you just
Yeah.
assume the one person you hassled, by the way, which you've thrown off a bridge,
Yeah,
so he might even be alive.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
and then, so they try to set up a trap and everything, and the main jock's like, "Oi, kid with mullet, go and get the car. We're gonna tear this bike apart. We're gonna tow it, blah, blah, blah." So he goes, the kid with mullet goes, and they're standing there, he's like, "Why is it taking so long?"
Yeah.
And then he goes to the car, and he goes, "Hey," I want to say Billy, I can't remember the guy's name.
No.
And then you see, yeah, it is Billy, yeah, and he's like, "Oh," and then you see that his drumstick's been shoved into his eye, so he's dead, basically.
Yeah.
And then the main bully's like, oh, starts crying basically, and he starts shouting to the two other girls, oh, Billy's dead, he's dead. And then we see the tow truck lights turn on, and then instead of jumping to the left or right where the car can't go because there's other cars there, they decide to run down the straight strip, try and climb over a fence. One girl gets over and then she kind of hides, and then the other girl's still trying while the cars come in. So the car hits the fence with her on it, and she's trapped underneath.
In barbed wire as well, right?
Oh, it's not barbed wire. It's like chain link.
No, barbed wire at the top, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's stuck underneath it, and then the other friend's like, "Oh no, I'll help you. I'll get you out." And then,
oh yeah, and by the way, it's the ginger girl that was trying to
stop all this in the first place.
Yeah, she gets pinned underneath the. Yeah, she's the one that got kind of pinned underneath the fence that got run over.
Yeah.
And
then the other girl's like, "I'll get you out of here." He goes, "No, you're dead. You're dead." And then we see, Corey hit
as Michael Myers, right?
Yeah. We hear a bang, obviously, because he hits her with a wrench. Yeah. We don't see it actually happen. And then, while this is all going on, the main jock runs into the office of the scrapyard where
the stepdad's watching Hard Target.
Yeah, I was like, that's hilarious. And he's like, is someone here trying to kill us? So we go, okay, cool. Take this gun. We're gonna go see what's going on.
Take this shotgun, right?
Yeah. I think it's a shotgun or a rifle. Must be a rifle.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I have a shotgun too until like what happens next.
Yeah.
So then they go to the car. They see the fence work down, and the stepdad's walking closer and closer, and he sees. Wait, is the mask on him or off him at this point?
Yeah, he's. Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, because he knows that it's Billy. He knows it's Corey. Yeah. And then the main jock's like, "You're dead, mother." And then the stepdad's like, "No, don't do it. Don't shoot." And he shoots the stepdad in the head.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna say the logic of the jock, right?
Yeah.
If it was a shotgun, he's like so far back, right?
Yeah.
You cannot make that shot with a shotgun and actually not kill the guy in front, right?
Yeah.
But if it was a rifle as well, it's like in that, what are you doing? There's a dude in front of him.
Yeah.
How are you gonna get him? How are you gonna,
Exactly.
how do you know your aim is that superior that you're just
Yeah.
gonna catch that guy without catching the other guy?
Mhm.
He's a wider man as well.
Yep. And then he
Yeah.
shoots in the stepdad in the head, and then Corey catches the jock.
Hmm.
And how does he kill him again?
You know what? I can't
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Because I
He
know
does
how he
kill him,
kills. He does kill him, but I know with the girl who's trapped underneath the car and the chain link fence and barbed wire, he stomps her head in. I was like,
Yeah.
didn't have to do that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, if he left her alive,
Yeah.
fair enough. Like, look, you've already done that. You've already done that, yeah?
Yeah.
She's trying to help you. She's already trapped under it. She ain't going nowhere, right?
Yeah.
But you're like, nah, I'm going to be petty. Everyone's going to take my life because I'm now evil, I'm the new Michael Myers or whatever you want to say,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that.
Yeah, that was one kill. I was like, that was unnecessary. So
Even if he just left her,
yeah,
she probably eventually died. But
yeah, or she could have survived and be one of the survivors or whatever. Yeah.
But, the new final girl for the next Halloween.
Yeah.
Halloween Returns, right?
Yeah, again. So then after that, Corey goes to his house and goes to kill his mum.
Yeah.
Which I kind of get, but it's a bit too much again.
Yeah. I think that. Yeah. Yeah. And then he goes to the DJ's place.
Yeah.
Murders a receptionist.
Again, another death I thought was pointless. I was like, why?
She's a bit sassy to him, right? To be fair, but that even then, you're entering a premises way late at night.
Yeah.
And she probably just wants to go home.
Yeah.
She's stuck doing Christmas, Halloween decorations or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Waiting for this DJ guy to finish so she can, call it a day.
Yeah.
Getting stabbed up at the back there.
Yeah. Like, I think that's, I don't know, because I've got older, like, in horror films and stuff, if someone's done something to deserve to get killed, I'm like, okay, fair enough. Yeah. But, like, her and, like, the ginger girl didn't need to be killed. It's like, this is just...
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it's just at this point to show, okay. Yeah, like you're saying, it's just to show Corey is now too far gone.
Yeah, but even though you could have done that without him killing them, because...
You could have just stabbed them, right? Like, non-lethally.
Or just thrown it, like... He could have just said to her, get out, and leave it as that. I mean, like, he didn't have to do any... I don't know. Maybe I'm old and just sad now. But yeah, so then he kills the DJ in a very creative way.
Yeah.
Like, he slams his head on the desk a couple of times.
Yeah.
To where his jaw's, like, literally hanging and his tongue sticking out. Then he cuts off his tongue and then throws it on... Well, his tongue falls onto, like, the record player.
Yeah.
And so when it's spinning around, the needle keeps skipping over the tongue, and it's meant to be funny, but it's weird.
Yeah, I was like, all right, because I was like, oh, okay, this is a bit comedic for a movie that's supposed to be. It feels in Friday the 13th, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough, yeah. Because there's like some wacky kills than that, right? But this is meant to be more straight laced than that.
Yeah, so it's like that's a bit weird. Sure,
yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was something else. That's one thing about to say. The DJ bit is a bit silly because you could obviously tell he's DJing through a computer, but yet he has a record deck. But anyway, and then after that, Laurie goes to Laurie's in her room, well, her writer room, and then she's like having a drink, and then she's like, you know what? After having an argument with my granddaughter, not much to live for, really, is there? So she sets up like she's going to commit suicide, and she calls the police saying, I'd like to report a suicide. And then the camera zooms out behind the door, and you hear a bang, and then a splat as well. Then you look, it's actually one of the pumpkins she had. She shot it, and then this is where Corey tries to come in. And she's like, "You really think I was going to kill myself?" And then they have like a bit of a battle.
Yeah, a little bit of a tussle. She shoots him a couple of times.
Yeah,
he falls down the banister kind of, but it's a small story banister, by the way, not like. But yeah, oh yeah, it's ironically like how he accidentally killed the kid before.
Yeah.
He takes a tumble down the stairs, tries to get the knife. She pulls off the mask and says, "Oh, you know what? I should never, I wish I'd never met you from the very beginning," is that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, that's right. Because if I can't have Allyson, nobody will. Then he does a Eddie Guerrero, lie, cheat, and steal.
Actually, no, we missed that a bit before that bit. Because like you see Allyson driving. She goes to Corey's house, but no one's answering the door, obviously because he's killed his mum.
Yeah.
And then she's driving back to somewhere. Oh, she's driving out the city, and then she sees the radio tower on fire.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh, he's gone and done that."
Yeah.
Because he's the only one who ever said that. Because remember, they're on the building. He's like, "Oh yeah, I've always thought about just come and burn this place down." It's like, "Oh wow!" And then she gets a call from, the policeman, Frank Hawkins, who we forgot to mention earlier. That that the police station got a call about a suicide, and it's from your house. How's Laurie? Yeah. And then that's where he kind of puts 2 and 2 together. I was like, "Ooh, oh no!" And then we get to the bit we were talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, "All right, well." Yeah, so he stabbed himself in the throat, Corey. Yeah. And I'm like, "Why is this guy genius?" Yeah. I was like, oh. And then I was like, Laurie decides, by the way, to pull the knife out of his throat for no reason.
Yeah.
Just as Allyson walks in.
Yeah.
Now it's different if she pulled the knife out and she was like, "I'm gonna put my hand to stop the blood flowing," right?
Yeah.
She just pulls the knife out. She staggers back a little bit and drops the knife.
Yeah.
As Allyson walks in, it's like, okay, so you only did it in the film for that shot where she comes in and thinks that Laurie killed Corey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You could have just left the knife in the guy, by the way, and as it's still coming, you can just logically assume she must have killed that guy, because why would that guy stab himself, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think that's probably one of the ways they should have went. They didn't need to have her pull the knife out, because it just didn't make any sense.
No sense.
Other than the logic of them, or we want this scene to happen,
Yeah. What's the word? To manufacture violence. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh wait. I think I got this wrong.
From where?
I think the bit where she sees the fire and the suicide thing comes after when she leaves. I think.
No. I think you're right. No, you're right. No, you're right, because she had to get that call from the suicide, right?
Yeah, because I think she was just going there anyway, and that's when she sees them getting killed. Yeah. She sees Corey dies, and then they have that little argument, and then she leaves.
Yeah. And
then I think that's when she's driving down the road and she sees the thing on fire, and that's when she clocks.
No. I think you're right, because Allyson leaves.
Yeah.
Then Michael, and then Laurie's kind of like sliding down on the wall of the kitchen, going, "Oh no, what has my life turned into?" Right?
Yeah.
And then the mask disappears off, the half burnt Michael Myers mask.
Yeah.
From Halloween Kills, this gets retrieved from Corey's body.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, Michael Myers is in the house now. Finally, right? Finally, he's gonna have a showdown with Laurie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I enjoyed, actually. Yeah, I was like, okay, this is what Halloween 2018 was setting up for.
Yeah.
Except that, because now they're on equal. I want to say they're on equal footing. They're not on equal footing, because one's a horror movie villain, right? But what I'm saying is, no pre-strap set up or nothing like that. They're just basically fighting for each. One's fighting to kill the other person, the other person's fighting to survive.
Yeah.
And she manages to fend him off pretty well, considering obviously he's been in the sewers doing whatever he's been doing for 4 years, right? Yeah. Obviously not working out, right? And she's been living the not necessarily the good life, but at least she's got some vitality to her.
Yeah.
So I think they have a good tussle. She knocks him over, with a frying pan or something like that, I think. Knocks him down, pulls the fridge on top of, like, to pin one of his legs down.
Yeah.
Climbs on top of him. Grabs a knife to pin one of his arms down.
Yeah.
Then pulls another one and stabs that into his stabs that into his hand.
Yeah, because both his hands gets like stabbed onto the table and he's pinned down and he's like, yeah. And then she stabs him in the chest, right?
Yeah. She's making like she's like, I'm gonna finish you for good, right?
Yeah.
And then what he does is he rips his hand out from the knife that's pinning it down, right? Yeah. So it kind of slices in half.
Yeah.
And he grabs her in a choke, and then he does a reverse pendant stay on her.
Yeah. And you're like, oh no.
I'm like, yeah, I wasn't 100% sure on exactly what that was about either, unless you're going to turn Laurie into a Michael Myers, because all this time she's been trying to kill him, she's now become the monster as well, right?
Yeah.
But that wasn't what they were tracking either. So no, I don't know where.
I think they were trying to do like, she's like, well, I'm finally dying.
Okay, so for her it was a flashback, and for when he did it to Corey, it was a possession.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Or unlocked his true evil, or I don't know.
Yeah. What? So Corey potential unlocked, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah. The Grand Kai sort of thing, yeah.
exactly. Who knows exactly, right? But that's why it's messy, because it's like it does things, but you're like, how does this apply to this situation? You know?
Yeah.
But anyways, so I believe this is when Allyson comes back to pull him off.
Yeah.
Yeah, she comes in, she stabs his arm, pin him back down, and then Laurie gets a knife and slits Michael's throat.
Yeah.
And then we're like, all right, is he definitively dead, or is he going to
somehow survive like he did?
Are we going to say they're going to leave the house, right? And when the cops come in the house, Michael's disappeared.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah. No. The police come into the house. Michael's there, and they're like, "Oh, we gotta show the people of Haddonfield there's nothing to be feared."
Yeah.
Right. And then one of these like the black dude from the black FBI cop geezer from Halloween 1, the sheriff. Yeah. He's like, Halloween 2018. He's like, that's not how we do things, and it's like, that's how we do it tonight.
Yeah.
So they tie Michael's corpse to Laurie's car, and they have the police drive it through the Haddonfield, and they drive. They drive to the scrapyard?
Yeah.
Same scrapyard?
I think it's the same scrapyard, because I think because in the beginning when you see them using the wood chipper thing, the metal crusher thing, same scrapyard, yeah.
So they put Michael's corpse into just before the grinders, right?
Yeah.
And Laurie is stepping over it to kick him in. And I thought, okay, so if he's not going to sit up and he's not going to disappear, is this a point where he starts going down and he grabs her leg?
Yeah.
No, that doesn't happen either.
Nope.
He gets ground. He just gets ground. His head pops and stuff like that.
It's quite graphic. Oh wow, that's pretty graphic death in his thing. But wow, okay. Yeah. Sure.
And then Laurie writes the denouncement into her book, the prologue of the evil, that we killed. Michael Myers is dead and done and dusted, and there's no more. This is how my story ends.
Yeah.
And Frank from Will Patton of Frank Hawkins, he's like, Laurie, let's pick up where we left off. No,
it's kind of weird because we missed it earlier, but they have like that weird little. I say weird. They have that nice little conversation in the supermarket, and then he's like, "Yeah, I think about going to Japan." Blah blah blah. And then because she'd be kind of blanking him onto this point, I think he just left that thing saying, "Yep, so I'm leaving this for you. Do what you want off of that." And then she's like, "You know what, Frank? Tell me more about that cherry blossoms." And I'm like, "Oh,
yeah, exactly."
Bless.
But I was like, all right, fair enough. But it's kind of messy. It doesn't go into quite the directions you think it's going to go to, and it kind of. Yeah, I didn't mind that he got killed at the end. Michael Myers, it kind of makes sense for the story.
Yeah.
And he's not a supernatural being anyways, blah, 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 and all that stuff. He's not Jason, right?
No.
And the final showdown, I was like, okay, pretty straightforward as to what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
that it is. But yeah, all that stuff with Corey took more, what, 3/4, 2/3 of the film?
Yeah, 2/3
3/4
of
of it,
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
And you're like, there's not enough Michael Myers in this film to, I have to say as well, I watched the trailers afterwards.
Yeah.
And it makes it look like there's a lot of Michael Myers in it. And the other thing is, all the kills, like Corey kills,
yeah,
they attribute to Michael Myers, sort of.
Oh wow!
To make it look like they make it look like he's the one, because Corey's in the mask. Yeah, so they make it look like Corey, like Michael Myers killed them. In the trailer, I was like, yeah.
Like, if they just said Michael Myers died and he was dead, and then Corey was this version of Michael Myers in the film, that'd make more sense.
Yeah.
Well,
I think as well at the end of Halloween Kills, like when Hulk finally gets what he wants and all he wants is to have peace.
Yeah.
At the end of Halloween Kills, when Michael Myers is in his house.
Yeah.
And he's staring out the window. He's got his way. He's back in his home.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I suppose people were expecting Halloween obviously to have Michael Myers in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But from where they left off and where they pick up from Michael Myers here, it doesn't make any sense.
No. Especially the whole 4-year jump sort of thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like I said, if they set up Corey in the previous movie to then kind of start edging in this direction during that parts of that movie and into this movie, it just make a lot more sense.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Personally, I would say after how good Halloween 2018 is,
yeah,
you could kind of just leave it.
Yeah, you could just literally, you could watch Halloween 2018, leave it as that, or if you can even watch Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, and just that could be the end of the films.
Or if someone fan edits Halloween Kills and Halloween ends together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah.
Like I said before, I kind of get what they were trying to do, but they didn't execute it well at all.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that if you're like, okay, if they went in this direction or that direction, it'd have been better.
Yeah.
Or at least, or they fully committed, but they're like, no, we're just gonna backtrack a little bit here and then we're gonna give you what you want at the very end.
Yeah.
But that's dessert already. It's like, so I've been through all this stuff to get to dessert.
And it's meh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know. Yeah. Wasn't that great?
No, unfortunately not. Yeah.
I had no hope. I had no expectations going into it anyway, but it didn't really help. No.
Yeah. I said most people would come to watch this movie for the last section of it, and if I paid the amount of money paid to go cinema to watch the last half hour of this movie, I might have been alright. But at the same time, really, really short movie. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's just...
yeah. I would say not necessarily. I wouldn't say necessarily okay. Some of this was disappointing, and some of it where if you followed through in all those different types of directions, because you had many avenues and many different directions you could have tried, you would have come out better, right?
Yeah,
but unfortunately not. I'd give the last act of this movie a thumbs up, and the most of the movie thumbs down, but not because it was bad or anything. It's just it's clunky.
Yeah,
it's not like, oh, I didn't like the character arc, or I didn't see what they were trying to do with Corey. It's just you backtracked a lot.
Yeah,
of things that could have went somewhere.
Yeah, it's just they could have done a lot.
Yeah.
Why introduce supernatural elements in the second one, and then not really pick up on it in the next one? Yeah,
it's weird because it's meant to be a sequel, but it's kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
Whereas, it didn't need to go in that direction. It could have just been all this took place on the same Halloween night.
Yeah. Yep.
Would have probably made a bit more sense, because then you would have been if Corey was involved in beating up Michael Myers in Halloween Kills, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And then he kind of okay, this town now I've become one of them, even though the town hates me, but whatever, right?
Yeah.
You could have gone in that direction, you know what? Even though I bonded with the town because we all hate Michael Myers, they still outcast me, blah blah blah, and I don't know. I'm just like spitballing, but it's just
Yeah.
like there's directions you could have gone, but yeah.
Yeah, because I can't really see the parallels between Corey and Michael.
Yeah.
Because like Michael was a killer from like a child sort of thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and he embraced it as well.
Yeah. Like Corey was accidental.
And then he got pushed into it.
Yeah. So there's like no real like here's a good example. It's like Batman and Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
They have basically the same upbringing, didn't they? Well, same tragic events, and Bruce didn't want a kid to go the same way he did. So there's like that bond there, but there's no for that with Michael and Corey. There's no bond whatsoever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like it's different if, for example, they beat Michael to death, quote unquote, in Halloween Kills, right? And then Corey's like, all right, well, I'm an outcast. I'm gonna come and help this guy, and he can be we can work together. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like, if you create a situation where there is a bond, then you'll be like, all right, fair enough. And then I don't want to say necessarily they turn on each other or whatever, right? Because Michael doesn't have a agenda.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So he could easily just not switch allegiances because he had no allegiance.
No.
Yeah.
But
so
is what it is.
Yeah.
It was
100%. Yeah. So that is that. I want to say a disappointing end to this trilogy.
Yeah, started off on a high for me, then kind of whimpered out at the end. Yeah. Yeah. Sad times.
Okay, so that'll be us signing off.
Yeah. And I have been the lone survivor. Actually, no, I have been the person who survived the Halloween Kills to come back in this film as Vegetal, Kyle Charles. And
right, okay.
We forgot to mention her, yeah.
Oh yeah. And I am the punk kid who just tries to shoot a shotgun from miles away, and I think I'm gonna hit my target somehow. But no. Even though there's a dude in front of him. Yeah. Whatever. CY Chung.
And thank you for listening to our review on Halloween Ends.
Yes.
Let us know what you think of it if you've seen it. Which Halloween is your favorite? Did you like the Rob Zombie ones? Because I liked the first one, the second one I hated. Have you seen the second one, right?
The Rob Zombie ones start off exactly how like they should for a slasher film.
Yeah.
Because they're not horror films. They know exactly what the vibe they're going for.
Yeah.
Which I can't fault because I'm like, you know what? Yeah, fair enough. It is exactly where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the second one is meh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with this, where first one was really good, and then it kind of tails off. Also, probably similar with the actual Lebanese trilogy as well.
Maybe it's just the franchise in general does that. Yeah. Tail off. Except for Halloween 3, which is the best Halloween film of them. Best Halloween film of them all. I'm not gonna lie, it's my favorite one.
Ethan of the Witch.
Yes, the best one. And yeah, let us know. What have you changed in this film? Would you have just not made it? Let us know. And you could do that by leaving a comment in the comment section or leaving us a message on Instagram, Twitter, even email. And you can do that by looking in our description, and all the lovely, jubbly details are there. And that's it, guys. And until next time, guys, I'd like to thank you for taking a trip with us around the Multiverse. Bye.
Bye.